Welcome to TwinSpiresTV's and TwinSpiresTV. I'm Jill Byrne with the weekend preview. We are well into March, a big weekend of racing coming up, but it also starts our new TwinSpires online handicapping contest. And this starting Thursday, Friday, Saturday, starting this Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and going every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, all the way through November. Now, the contests themselves will take place on Saturday racing, and this will all culminate in November with the huge TwinSpiresTV's online handicapping championship. And that is a $100,000 guaranteed first place prize. We are also giving away 50 seats to the DRF NHC, as well as possibly the casino Horse Player World Series. So 50 seats being given away to those two fantastic contests. And though this one is perfect, it is great for all our TwinSpiresTV players because you have from now all the way through November to get involved, and a lot of fun. It's going to be a great online handicapping tournament. As always, make sure to go to our contest and promotions page and check this one out. So it's Saturday racing that you wager on. A lot of fun to be had for the TwinSpiresTV online handicapping championship that will end in November. Well, let's get to some of the other things going on this weekend. As you are aware, I'm sure everybody handicapping right now for the big prep races this weekend for the Kentucky Derby. So, of course, that's part of our Derby Parlay. That Derby Parlay $25,000 cash prize. 10 people who pick the most of these Derby prep winners will get tickets to the Derby, and this is a fantastic way to get involved in the Kentucky Derby Trail, and we have great racing this weekend. Uncle Mo, the champion, he's back. Now, this race, not a graded stakes, but Uncle Mo doesn't need any graded earnings, the Timely Rider. Then we have the Tampa Bay Derby and also the San Felipe, so 3 fantastic Derby preps this weekend. What else does that also mean? It's all Derby and Oaks, of course, right now. Future Pool Wager 2. Pool 2 is now open for the future wager. This for the Oaks and the Derby and the Exacta back as well. It opens at Friday at noon, and then it'll close at 6 o'clock Eastern on Sunday. So you have those prep races involved this weekend, and you can also get those free Brisk past performances for all the entries, including the field. They're all available right here on TwinSpiresTV. So you'll need those so you can make your decisions on the handicapping this weekend of the races, but also on who you might want to make that wager on in the future pool. And then, speaking of Kentucky Derby again, we have the Derby Live Chat. That is with John Asher this Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. I was on it last Friday. A lot of fun, a lot of interaction there. Go to brisknet.com to chat with all the experts there and talk everything that is Kentucky Derby 137. Well, I want to get to these 3 Derby preps this weekend because I am so excited about these races. Of course, can't wait to see Uncle Mo back. I was able to see him down in Florida. He looks fantastic. Of course, saw him right here at Churchill Downs when he won the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. We know he likes Churchill. And, this race is kind of, I guess, the Uncle Mo Memorial, but he has to start back somewhere. He drew the 1 post. It goes as race number 8 at Gulfstream on Saturday, the Timely Rider. 5 other horses in there, maybe horses that obviously don't have anywhere near the credentials of Uncle Mo. But if you want to be the devil's advocate here and maybe look at, something that could possibly happen, look what happened to Dialed In last weekend, is I was kind of looking at Rattlesnake Bridge. Now, all he did was break his maiden, first time out for Kieran McLaughlin. It's horse by Tappet. You all know how much I like Tappet. Anybody who watches this regularly, I'm always looking at the Tappets. That was 3/4 of a mile. He is bred to handle the extra distance mile. He's drawn on the outside of this short 6-horse field. I think he can improve. He rated going 3/4 that day. Uncle Mo might find himself pressured. You have Madman Diary. He's going to show some speed. And the other horse would be Rocking Out. This one for Rick Dutrow. Finished 3rd in his first start back, and that was going a mile. He kind of ran a little, just sort of spotty that day. He was up on the lead, slow fractions. It was just sort of an odd race. The horse that won that race, Free Entry, he's going to be running in the Tampa Bay Derby. So that just perfectly segues me into the Tampa Bay Derby. Tampa Bay Downs, it's going as race number 11, grade 2. $250,000 of those all-important graded earnings on the line. And Brethren is in there, Uncle Mo's stablemate. Now, Uncle Mo did cross-enter in the Tampa Bay Derby, but as of now, all signs point that he is running in the Timely Rider at Gulfstream. So that being said, Brethren, that half-brother to Super Saver, who won the Sam F. Davis so impressively at Tampa Bay, and he's back in. He drew post 10, but he'll move in 1 with the scratch of Uncle Mo to post number 9, so he has that to overcome. He faces the other 3 finishers there right behind him in the Sam F. Davis, and that would be 2 Experience. Beamer finished 4th that day, and Watch Me Go, who finished 3rd. But I just thought Brethren won so easily that day. He had a rough trip. It was his first start since he won here at Churchill Allowance Race. First time going 2 turns. I just love love the way he drew off in that race. The horse I think he has to beat, though, I just talked about, Free Entry, the horse that is now 2 for 2 since switching to the Chad Brown barn. He's by Tail of the Cat. And he did beat Rocking Out that day, going a mile, so he's kind of stretched out nicely. Chad Brown always doing very well with his horses, so this is a young horse to maybe keep an eye on in there, but I would be disappointed to see Brethren not win the Tampa Bay Derby. Out to California, probably the best wagering race of all the Derby preps because no real standout in the San Felipe. It's going to go as race number 8 at Santa Anita on Saturday. This race, a lot of speed. You have 2 very impressive maiden winners in their last out races. Al Brigatti, who draws the rail for Steve Asmussen, run flat out. I thought this horse was super impressive for John Sadler in the West Point Thoroughbreds. You know, you're asking a lot of a horse coming off a maiden win, sprinting to go a mile and a 16th in a graded stakes race, but these are 2 of the most impressive maiden winners I've seen. Plus, they have fantastic connections and great pedigrees as well. They drew right next to each other, 1-2 in there. Bob Baffert sending Chase Cito. First start for Baffert, switched over to his stable. He's taking the blinkers off. I got to see him out in California, and I thought this horse looked like he'd really grown up, really matured. Training very well for Bob Baffert. He's at Santa Anita. Traditional Dirt, he did not run well here in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, but I think we'll give him a bye for that and give him another shot. Comet the Top is back. Speaking of a horse that needs to be given another shot, he is trying Traditional Dirt for the first time after faltering as the favorite in the El Camino Real. So we'll see if he can get back on track too. I'm going to take a little stab here with Bob Baffert's other horse, Awesome Patriot, a son of Awesome Again out of a full sister to Tisnow. If that doesn't say a mile and a quarter at Churchill Downs, what does? This horse won his last start. It was only a 3-horse field, but he did go 2 turns that day at Santa Anita, battled back. That's what I like. Riveting Reason. He goes head-to-head with this horse down the stretch. Riveting Reason came back to run second to Anthony's Cross out in California in the R.B. Lewis. So I think that kind of holds up a little bit. Awesome Patriot, he has to improve. He has to move up to be, a viable option in this race, but I think he can. And as I said, I really do like his pedigree, and I like the fact that he gets Rafael Bejarano aboard as well. A very competitive field lining up in the San Felipe. I wouldn't take a short price on anybody. I think Jay Cito will be bet heavily, and I think Comet to the Top might be bet heavily. And these 2 very impressive maiden winners run flat out in Al Brigatti. That's why I'm going to look for a little value in here. I'm going to take Awesome Patriot and see if he can maybe take that next step forward. Big weekend of racing. It's all about the Kentucky Derby preps. The Future Wager Pool 2 is in action starting Friday, and that'll end 6 o'clock on Sunday. And TwinSpires.com online handicapping series kicks off this weekend now all the way through November. So get involved because it's a great weekend to be a part of it, and you don't have to miss anything right here on TwinSpires.com. You can watch and wager on all this great racing around the country.